Here's more wrestling news for November 3rd, 2022, and we're kicking off with WWE, and when Triple H came to power, it was reported not long after that the game had big plans for Kevin Owens, who he worked with in NXT, but those plans have yet to make it to TV yet. It's been reported that these plans included Sami Zayn and that WWE no longer wants to split him from the Bloodline, but a Ringside News report learned that this was not the case. When Ringside News asked for more information, they weren't told why Owens is currently off TV, but they were told that this is intentional. When asked for a time frame for when Owens will be back, the source remained vague, saying that he will be back on TV when the time is right. The source did add that there was no problems between Owens and WWE, and that his absence is not down to an injury. It was back in April that Owens wrestled Stone Cold Steve Austin, a match many fans thought they would never see, so while he's not been around in a while, there are still big plans for the former Universal Champion. When you attend a WWE event, you have the opportunity to make your voice heard about the superstars in the ring, but on rare occasions, the superstars will fire back. During a live event in Mexico this past weekend, the trio of AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio, and Raquel Rodriguez took on the Judgment Day's Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley, but one fan crossed the line. At one point in the match, a fan can be heard telling Dominic Mysterio, who was at ringside, that they want Ripley to spit in his face, which caught the attention of the former Raw Women's Champion. Responding, Ripley called the fan a dirty, dirty little boy, and unsurprisingly, did not fulfill the request. The fan, or at least someone nearby, even shared the footage of the exchange online with a caption translated into English reading, "Rhea didn't want to spit on our little faces." The Judgment Day's next match will come at Crown Jewel, but with Ripley constantly proving to be a problem, it remains to be seen who AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows will recruit to even the odds. This Sunday's Crown Jewel event will see Bobby Lashley face Brock Lesnar in the long-awaited rematch from their collision at the Royal Rumble. At this time, the pair are scheduled to compete in a straight-up singles match, but one former WWE writer hopes that changes. Speaking on his Wrestling with Freddie podcast, Freddie Prinze Jr. said he'd love to see the pair face off in a shoot MMA fight, playing off both men's experience in the world of mixed martial arts. Lesnar's success in UFC speaks for itself, while Lashley made a name in Bellator, but the two never got a chance to face off in the octagon in their respective primes. Freddie isn't the only person hoping for a stipulation, as during the latest Busted Open Radio, Bully Ray suggested that a fight pit match would be ideal if there is a third match between The Rock and Bobby after this Saturday. In all likelihood, the match at Crown Jewel will be a very hard-hitting singles match, but if a third match at WrestleMania happens, as some have suggested, then perhaps both men could step foot in a cage once more. Would you want to see Lesnar versus Lashley in an MMA fight, or would you prefer a straight-up wrestling match? Sound off in the comments. We've got an update from Jim Ross now, who was diagnosed with skin cancer in late 2021. JR was quickly able to overcome the cancer, but is now given an update on his condition, which isn't all good news. On Twitter, JR said he had his first wound care appointment, which felt like it lasted an eternity, and that while what he was told was not all good news, it's nothing he can't handle. JR said he's looking at another 6 months of healing before he's back to 100%, but confirmed that he'll be at Rampage this Friday, and we are wishing JR a quick and painless recovery. During this week's NXT, Grayson Waller faced R-Truth in an entertaining match which sadly had to be ended when Truth suffered an injury. Before that though, Waller did all he could to try and put the wrestling veteran away, but R-Truth wasn't the only legend on his mind. During a commercial break, Waller trolled the WWE Hall of Famer and NXT commentator Booker T by hitting a Spinaroonie, and judging by his reaction, Booker wasn't pleased with what he saw. Now whether this leads to anything more and possibly a match with Booker, that's too early to say at this time, but if nothing else, Grayson Waller proved that he can hit one very impressive Spinaroonie. In 2009, Kyle Rasmussen was signed to WWE's developmental territory at the time, FCW, but did not go far in the world of wrestling. Despite wins over the likes of Wade Barrett and EC3, Rasmussen worked just 30 matches before his 2010 release, but is now in the news for all the wrong reasons. This week, Rasmussen was arrested and charged with trying to strangle a man, which allegedly occurred while Rasmussen was sat in the back seat of a vehicle in Rochester Hills, Michigan. The Detroit News reports that there's no clear motive for why Rasmussen allegedly attacked the man, but that his girlfriend, scared at what was happening, attempted to flee the scene and was struck by another vehicle. Local police report that Rasmussen and his girlfriend Sarah were in the back of a 2012 Chevrolet Silverado, and the driver was able to stop the truck and fled, as did Sarah. Sarah Ratcliffe would sadly be killed after being hit by the other vehicle just 100 meters from the parked truck, and police are searching for that driver as well. This is a truly tragic incident, and it's unclear as to why Rasmussen did what it is claimed he did, but we will only know more when more details come out. Earlier this year, Dana Brooke captured the 24/7 title, her very first championship in WWE. Brooke is now a 15-time champion and is the current holder of the title, and she has big plans for the 24/7 championship. Speaking with Steve Fall of NBC Sports Boston, Brooke spoke about her title run and wants the 24/7 title to be so much more. I've been wanting to transition the 24/7 title into an IC title. I think it would be amazing. We're building a roster, we have amazing women on the roster. With everyone coming back, why not? We have the tag team titles, but not everyone is teamed up. You have the storylines that are going for the women's titles, but the rest are just little stories in the mix. Why not go for an IC title? Brooke is hardly alone with her desire for a women's mid-card title, as both Bayley and Raquel Rodriguez have both called for a mid-card title in recent weeks. Over the past few months, a lot has changed in WWE, and with more changes expected, perhaps Brooke could become the first women's Intercontinental Champion. Over to AEW, and since All Out, CM Punk and the Elite have been absent from AEW programming due to their actions backstage at the pay-per-view. While the Elite's return to TV has been promoted, it is highly unlikely we'll ever see CM Punk back in AEW, but not everyone is against the former world champion. Taking to Twitter, Jim Cornette accused the Elite of villainizing Punk and turning the AEW locker room against him, saying, "CM Punk was popular as hell with the talented young wrestlers that have a future. Apparently, the hack EVPs and their friends were not happy about that and had to get the story they were in favor of out there." Cornette's claim isn't too different to what Punk said on the now infamous All Out Media Scrum, as he insinuated that the Elite have spread false stories about him but has provided no evidence. Punk's arrival in AEW was a huge win for the company, and it's clear that he did move the needle during his 13 months, but his controversial departure is all thanks to the Elite as far as Punk and Cornette are concerned. And we're ending with another person you won't see on AEW TV anymore, Joey Janela, who spent much of his time appearing on AEW Dark before leaving the company nearly a year ago. Janela may be gone from AEW, but he's still watching the product and has some choice words during a recent Dark episode. Speaking about a match between AR Fox and Rey Fenix, Janela praised the bout compared to the stale-ass programming AEW Dark usually is. "This is what Dark should be. All-around competitive action-packed sprints, and maybe a one longer type storyline-based match weekly. What that show does is nothing for anyone anymore, to be honest, it's stale-ass. Squash matches do nothing for anyone in 2022, especially on a YouTube show. No one wants to watch squash matches on YouTube in 2022. I understand if you're introducing a new wrestler on TV, then I'm all for squash matches. This is the reason for talent digression doing nothing but pointless bullshit for the sake of it." While Dark often sees unsigned wrestlers try and get the attention of Tony Khan, that's difficult to do when you're losing a squash match in mere minutes, so perhaps the AEW president should listen to the advice of his former employee. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.